Hey guys, for those of you that are in the United States, I hope you're enjoying your time back to work after a long Memorial Day weekend. I wanted to make this video to address some recent stuff that's been going on, and also to provide some transparency and maybe a little bit of clarity for folks that don't quite know how affiliates and sponsorships and stuff work here on YouTube. So, first of all, a couple weeks ago I put out a video that I recorded very quickly in my car about the whole tariff surcharge situation at Super 7, and straight up it was a bad video. Should not have gone up. I've taken it down. I think that many people were rightfully upset by the fact that I was not giving them enough credit from their perspective of how they felt about the situation, and they are completely right in that. I was not the nicest or the kindest that I could have been in recording that video. I was not the most understanding person. I realized that I was treating my channel like, I guess, like a diary rather than what it actually is. And that's not to say that I'm making excuses for it. I fully accept the consequences of that video going up, whether that's folks thinking that I'm not as credible or whatever. But the video's been taken down because it should have been taken down. It should have never gone up in the first place. If I were to go back in time and do it, I probably shouldn't have done it. But I think what I would have done is given more credit to the people that were viewing the situation from the principle of the matter rather than the practicality of the situation, right? So I was very firmly on the practical side of like, how do you get out of this tariff situation? But on the principle side, it was like, yeah, there shouldn't be 8% surcharge on in-stock items. That is completely from the principle perspective, right? And I feel like that side of the argument felt very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say offended because that almost makes it sound like it wasn't my fault. But they felt largely unheard, and maybe even belittled by the video that I put out. So the video's down, and it was a bad video, and I have to own that. I have to accept that. And again, I accept all the consequences and all the stuff that comes along with it. Now, the video, there was a group of folks that were very public in their distaste of that video. If you know, you know. And I reached out to those guys privately, and we had a very brief but honest conversation, and it's all water under the bridge because we're grown-ups, right? We don't have time for just stupid internet beef. So anybody who knows what I'm talking about, yeah, I'm cool with those guys. We're fine. But this raises a bigger question of like how close I am to like topics that probably shouldn't be covered. There was a few people that mentioned that it was a conflict of interest for me to talk about the tariff surcharge, and I was very stubborn about it. And now I'm looking back and thinking, no, I probably shouldn't have talked about it. So, yeah, I think that it's, yeah, maybe moving forward, I shouldn't be talking about some of the stuff that's going on with Super 7 as a company just because of the relationship, not just as like an affiliate like I am with INS Hobby or Entertainment Earth, but clearly like having a relationship with employees past and present has maybe muddied the water a little bit. So I probably will hold off on stuff like that. Which is a bit of an adjustment, right? Because ever since the beginning of this channel, like I've been trying to talk about this stuff more in depth and why certain things are happening. But I think it's pretty much, I'm at a point where like there are some things I probably I'm not looking at with a clear enough lens, and so I shouldn't be talking about it. But one thing that was sort of highlighted was the financial relationship that I have with Super 7. And so I wanted to shine some insight on it. I've done this before, but it's been a little while. So it's maybe good for a refresher. If at any point you're curious about my sponsorship / affiliate status, you can always go to my channel description where everything will be laid out here. I will try to keep this updated. And I've updated my channel description to say moving forward that you should come to my channel description for the most up-to-date information. Ideally I would put it in every video, but would like to have one place where it's all sort of centralized, where you can come to and it's up to date. So this has not been updated since August 15th, 2024, because nothing has changed since then. But I also wanted to go through a little bit of each of these things. So I am an affiliate for a couple of websites, and now what an affiliate is you have an agreement with them that, you know, you'll post specialized, customized links to direct traffic to certain products, and then any purchases made through those links, creators like me get a cut of the sales. This is not the same as a sponsorship. I guess you could consider it a contract. Like, you do have to sign like a terms and conditions thing, right? But I don't know if I would go as far as to say it definitely wasn't like a contract that I've read over and like signed my name in blood in. But let's go through each of these. So Super 7, I earn 7% off each purchase you make with my link. So you make a purchase of $100, I get $7 through if you use the links that I post. Now to this day, I've been a Super 7 affiliate since January 2024. So I've been doing this for, what's the math? 16 months. And across that, I've made approximately $92 per month, US dollars, for a grand total of like $1,550 US dollars. I think that's important for you to know, in terms of transparency. Entertainment Earth, same deal. I make 7% off each purchase you make with my link. Entertainment Earth's a bit slower. To this day, I've made about $330 US dollars in about the same time frame. I got Super 7 and Entertainment Earth at the same time. INS Hobby, I've been an affiliate for about a year now, about 12 months. I make 6% off each purchase, and sometimes they send me stuff to review. This includes Haya toys like Godzilla Monsterverse. It also includes Pacific Rim. I think to this day, I've made about I think it was $450 US dollars, and then I have $240 US dollars pending. And then we were selling stickers at one point. This is my brother-in-law's business. I didn't make any cut off of that. And I think we got like 1 or 2 purchases of stickers, so there wasn't a whole lot of money to be had there. So I hope that maybe shines some light on how affiliate links work, and how much I have made through affiliate links. Now, if we're talking money, like, let's also talk about ad revenue. So you can go to this website, View Stats, which Mr. Beast set up, and you can straight up see like the estimated revenue that a channel has. Now, this is obviously a very big bracket, $46 to $127 in the past 28 days. But a nice way to think about it is about $3 US per 1,000 views. So 24,000 views in the last 28 days. You can approximate it as $72 US, give or take. That's a pretty good approximation, but it also doesn't count for donations or super chats, things like that. I have received I have some very generous community members that have donated during my past couple of streams, and so I've made a little bit more money that way. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how much money I have made as an affiliate of these multiple websites, and also the nature of an affiliate partnership. So then the question is, have I been sponsored by Super 7 in any sort of long-standing way? And the answer is no. I do not have any contract signed with anybody. Even with INS Hobby, who sends me Haya figures, like, there was never a formal contract. They emailed me. They were like, hey, can we send you stuff? And I was like, sure. And so they started sending me stuff. Like, I don't have a formal contract with them. I don't have a formal contract with Super 7. I've been covering Super 7 since I started in September 2023, which, what's the math? What is that? 21 months? 21 months ago. My channel's has been very focused on Super 7, which is funny because that's like the least performing subject in terms of YouTube performance. But so 21 months ago I started, and Super 7 started sending me some samples 3 months ago. So 3 months out of the 21 months I've been on YouTube, I've received samples from Super 7. And in terms of monetary compensation, it's probably been about $1,100 to $1,200 worth of stuff. It's been a lot of blind boxes, as well as some of their newer stuff like the Fun and the plushes. So there it is, all out on the table. I don't have any contracts with Super 7. I don't have any contracts with entertainment, or well, outside of like the affiliate stuff. But I don't. That's like a soft agreement rather than a contract. But hopefully that provides some transparency as to what I'm doing with the channel and how much I am earning off the channel. So the last thing I want to touch on is like, I've seen some comments about how I am overly positive about products that are not, let's say, commonly enjoyed or appreciated. The video I put out today of like the Super Kaiju being one big example. And there are a couple factors for it, like about it that like I can talk about. I think one is that I tend to review figures that I buy, and I only buy things that I want to own and enjoy. So as an example, I've reviewed the Godzilla Evolved Monster Arts and the Scar King Monster Arts because I wanted to buy those figures. I wanted to own those figures. Since then, we've gotten Shimo, Suko Mothra, and then Gamera in Monster Arts. I haven't bought any of those for the channel because I don't want to. I don't want to own those figures. The recent Gamera Sendai version, like I have the original issue of that mold. I don't want to own that second figure, so I'm not going to buy it to review. And so yeah, there's gonna be a bias towards the stuff that I review on the channel because it's all stuff that I want to own and want to have. That being said, there are still going to be times where I'm trying to point out things that are not, not great or maybe below expectations. Actually, the figure, I don't have to grab it, but the Ultimates Wave 2 Toho Super Mecha Godzilla, I have a video on my channel from a long time ago. Nobody watched it because I had like maybe 50 subscribers. But that thing drove me insane during that. It was a live unboxing. And at one point I was like, I want to throw this thing out the goddamn window. Like, I was quite annoyed by it. But it wasn't the overall tone of the video. I guess what I'm trying to say is I try not to let the things that I don't like with a figure bring down the things that I do like about a figure. Every Toho Ultimate I have reviewed, I've pointed out the things that have fallen short. When I think about Space Godzilla's tail, I had it in frame. I explained what the design thought was about it, and at the end of it, I said, yeah, it falls short. I'm not the guy that's gonna like, huck it down the road. And I'm sure you can find content like that, but I guess all of that is to say that like I try to keep a level head about the things that maybe I don't like, about the figures that I do like and I do want to own. I only pick up stuff that I want to have, and that certainly biases me. But at the same time, I enjoy figures that are, let's say, 70-80% of the way there, rather than focusing on the 20% or 30% that I don't like. Does that mean that I should maybe tend to it a little bit more? Yeah, probably. Like, I should be more careful to ensure that the things that I don't like about the items I'm reviewing are made explicitly clear. Maybe I should start adding like a summary graphic at the end of my videos so that people know that there are things that are noteworthy in terms of like, could be better. But yeah, I think that's where I'm going to leave it. So I hope that this provided some insight as to, how I actually do make money on YouTube and as a content creator. I hope that, I shouldn't say I hope that, but that one video I made should not have gone up. And for the folks that were upset by it, completely right. to be upset by it. It was a very irresponsible video to put up, and I just have to own that. And I hope that maybe explaining how the affiliate stuff works and how I've never been formally sponsored, and never signed a super duper formal contract. I hope that provides some insight as to what's going on behind the scenes. So I think with that, I'm gonna call it. I do have some the funny thing is I do have some fun stuff planned on Instagram for Super 7 stuff. Actually, if you're not following me on Instagram, you probably should, because I'm gonna be giving away that blind box flat later this week. So you should definitely it's not gonna help the shill allegations. Anyway, thanks guys for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you again soon. Bye bye.